Cryogenic sleeping chamber powering down. Subject coming online. Stasis chamber offline.
So, welcome to episode number 1 of What World Is This? And what game and what patch? Feels like it's been a little while. Actually, this is episode 54. Maybe. Off the top of my head. It's been a little while, but we are back in the Alpha Valley, yeah! And we are in Minecraft Beta 1.501. So there was sort of a hiatus that the series went on for a variety of reasons. Part of it was a little bit of writer's block where I didn't quite know what to do next. Another part of it is I was busy with other things and just taking a break that sort of stretched on and went on longer than I initially thought it would. But we're back. Long story short, we're back. That's all that really matters. We got the Cow Carcass boats. We got the Alpha Valley base. And we are going to continue doing some cool stuff. So I've already done a little bit off camera. How do I get down from here? I guess this thing? There we go. So I've changed some things in the base, and then we're going to build some cool stuff after I've showed it to you. But bam! There are no longer any paths in the middle of this thing. So this area for a while had been kind of competing with footpaths and water boat paths, and they were both overlapping each other. And I just sort of felt it was time that we let the water win out and we make a cool big water structure to sail through, to let us sail up and down. It's more interesting this way. And we needed eventually to move this inventory somewhere else anyway, because it's just not big enough. So we are going to be moving down into the mountain. We're going to delve deeper into the mountain. Let me climb up the mountain. I don't know exactly where we're going to put the new storage area. It's just going to be further down, deep down, deep into the mountain. Probably not that deep, somewhere that's convenient. If this cloud could get out of the way, this is not the patch where you can turn the clouds off, otherwise I would turn them off. But you can see that now we've got this big, cool, watery thing in the middle, which I think is pretty neat. I think it's a good step. I was feeling a little stumped for a while, and I think the problem was I just had too many things here that I guess, even though I didn't realize it, I was unwilling to consider changing them because they had been there since more or less the beginning. The sort of square path and these things. So these, I don't even know what to call them. These energy pylons, which are holding up the water, which holds up the future tower, whatever you want to call it, they no longer make a ton of sense either because these paths no longer have, they no longer go anywhere because this is just for boats. So we're going to have to redesign those a little bit too. I'm going to give you one aerial view up here, and then we are going to move downwards deep into the mountain. Actually, not that deep, but we're going to move on towards what we're doing for today. And today we are going to play with note blocks, and we are going to do something with this entrance tunnel we have down here where we will walk in and not use a boat. And I guess it wasn't really possible to change that stuff up until we had these paths in through the mountain. But we do now, so we can change them. So we built this path previously, which stretches out across the water section of the map. There is not one for the fire section yet. There probably will be at some point, I would imagine. Want to be able to move outward in all 4 directions. But we have this path which goes in here, and just because of the shape of the mountain, we have this big long tunnel, which leads us way back into here. That goes up to where the water is now, and back here leads to, there's the rail cart shortcut if you want to move faster than the footpath. That'll take you all the way to the rift. But we got that long tunnel to get us all the way here. The new storage will be down here somewhere. There's the exit out the other side. We've got 2 entrances. We need one. Well, I guess we're not going to have one in that direction because it's basically straight mountain all the way to the border with the beta terrain. But eventually we'll probably have one that way. Anyway, I wanted to do something with note blocks here, and I sort of thought up a neat idea which synergizes nicely with this tunnel. And it's going to involve a whole lot of pressure plates. And what we're going to do, we're going to have a long tunnel of pressure plates, and each pressure plate is going to trigger one note block. And then along the walls here, I want to do something that I saw an image of a long time ago. Whenever I see cool design images for games like this or Terraria or anything you can build stuff in, I save it on Reddit, and then I just can go back to those saved images. And whenever I'm looking for ideas, I peruse those old saved images. And I had one which sort of made a picture frame with colored wool. We're going to try that as well. But the idea is, so each of these note blocks is going to be triggered by each pressure plate. One pressure plate, one note block. And there's going to be a long string of them. So if you sneak along the path, the song will play slowly. If you run along at normal speed, it'll play at that speed. In the future, when we can sprint, it'll play at a third speed. So we'll be able to control the tempo by our movements. And if we get like speed potions way in the future, like way in the future, that'll be cool too. And additionally, we're going to have 2 rows of pressure plates, and each side is going to be a different instrument. So you can have one instrument playing, or the other instrument playing, or both. Hey, it works, which is not very surprising because it's very simple, and I tested it before I even started the video. Actually, I only tested half. I was a little bit unsure if I would have to do some more complicated wiring to keep pressure plates on this side from firing on that side and vice versa, but no, works just fine. Pressure plates are very loud. Holy cow. And I did some digging around in the jar. In 1.5 beta, the sound effects are, I think they're still hidden in class files, so I can't separate them out and mute the pressure plate sound. But it works. We just have to deal with the super duper loud pressure plates. Let's just do a little bit of modifications here. One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, so this one now should go up in ascending order and then back down. Okay, pretty neat. We'll come up with something better. I just want to sort of test walking from one side to the other. I think I might have did something slightly different there, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, here we go. So both one and the other. All right, it's kind of silly. The pressure plates are really noisy. I kind of had an alternate idea, which I'm going to try somewhere else, which will involve a minecart where we'll walk through, and the pressure plate, instead of having to go across so many pressure plates, we'll hit one pressure plate, and then there will be a minecart which we'll be able to see through a glass wall, and it's going to hit a bunch of detector rails. Detector rails will fire off the note blocks. Maybe we'll try to put some boosters in there. Maybe we can have some variable speed, or maybe it'll just be about seeing the minecart trigger the music as we walk through. Just an alternate idea, but okay, so this kind of works. Yeah, it works. I did dig into the rail line that was going up there, this super duper sick jump that lands down there. So it still ends up there. I'm just going to have to find a different way to route it to get us up there. But this path that leads up here into where the inventory storage used to be is no longer really, it doesn't really make sense anymore because this is just going to be about the water. So this whole tunnel is no longer important. I'm not going to fill it in yet, but if we want to build other things, it's totally expendable. And then the rail line, which I've covered up, is kind of going underneath us right here and splitting in half. So I'm going to have to do some rerouting. But what I want to do next, we're going to extend this to about here or so, where we enter the main base section. And I'm going to tune it and then cover it up so that we can listen to it. And then after that, we'll start working on what the sides will look like. We'll detail the thing. So, check it out. Flight of the Bumblebees. Bam! All set up. And in case you were ever curious what Flight of the Bumblebee might sound like played backwards, here it is. Yep, sounds slightly different, not quite as good, going backwards as forwards as you might expect, but I've got it all tuned. I have to say the note block system really needs an update. It still has this same system in the current version of the game, going back, basically it hasn't been updated since it was added. Really, one thing that would really be nice, for tuning the notes, even if you're not going to have like a drop-down menu where you can just pick the note, if this note here would actually display like A, B, C, D instead of just a colored note, I mean, this was obviously designed by a programmer and not a musician, because it's really a pain in the butt to tune stuff. I had to go in and hit this one like 22 times, hit this one 21 times, hit this one 20 times. But I decided to pick Flight of the Bumblebees because it's a continuous string of notes without breaks or rhythm, so it sort of fits this speed where we're going, and it does use a chromatic scale. If you don't know anything about music theory, what that means is instead of going A, B, C, it goes A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. It uses every note possible on a keyboard or guitar or flute or whatever. And it's played extremely fast, so this is only a tiny snippet. This is 33 notes, so that's 8 bars and the first note of the 9th bar. So, I think it's pretty cool. Next thing we have to do, we have to hide all of the note blocks so I never click on them improperly and retune them. So you can't have anything above a note block. It won't play. And I don't think glass works either. I will try glass. I think it has to be air. But what we're going to have to do is put a stair block here. I guess we could put a full block, but that's not as cool looking. And then above that, we can either do slabs or another set of stairs. I wanted to do this framed window thing with wool blocks, trying to paint a picture. There's just not enough height here to do it, though, because we're almost already at the ceiling. So I think we're going to put some kind of design in the ceiling itself. I think that's a better idea. So I'm going to get a bunch of stairs, pick the right ones, and lay them all out, and then we'll work on the ceiling. Oh man, check it out! Can't believe I finished it! So there are not too many block types in 1.5. I think if I was trying to build this thing in the current version of the game, I'd probably be using dyed clay quite a bit. That was sort of my hunch, something I wanted to use, and I can't! So we'll have to use what we got. The entrance looks suitably ominous. I think, like, if you're gonna have an entrance to a big mountain, it should look kind of like an entrance to a mountain. Like a bunch of dwarves live there or something, you know? Before, it was just kind of a little hole in the mountain, and ooh, hello, minecart. So the aqueduct is sort of just entering the mountain, and there's just a dirt hole around it. Maybe we need some work on that. All right, let's go take a look at the finished product. So I went with the spruce wood. I've been wanting to use these in something, and ended up using, this is oak wood on the sides. Oh, and I missed one. Dang it. Okay, I missed one spot, one block. I'll replace that later. But I did all kinds of combinations. One of the short list was red bricks, but I didn't think the bricks just looked right for a mountain entrance. But I think this looks pretty cool. And I've got a series of murals on the ceiling. I really like this idea. I want to do this again on a wall, but much bigger so we can have more detail and more total colors. So these murals are the 4 different regions in Minecraft. So first we've got the overworld. That's the grass and the tree and the sky in the background. This one was the easiest, and probably the easiest for you to tell what it is, I think. And then next, this one is the nether. So the red is, oh, I gotta be real careful here to not say everything is netherrack. The red is actually netherrack, the orange is lava, and then the dark gray is the background. So we've got 3 colors. 1, 2. This one's got 4. So this is the nether. Then over here we've got the end. This is the end island. And this is the weird particle-y background stuff. And then this is the obsidian tower with the beacon thing that heals the dragon. Pretty neat. And then up here, this is part of the 1.9 update, which is not quite out yet. They're doing snapshots of it, but it's the upcoming patch, which isn't out yet. But this is the super happy unicorn fun time realm, which is part of the 1.9. I thought that was pretty neat. So that is the terrain with the mulch grass and the happy time fountain, and then we've got the unicorn castle right there. And every time I walk in here, I can kind of pick how we want to play the music a little bit, and like way down in the future, I'm really looking forward to sprinting across this thing, and hopefully, if we can stack enough speed buffs, we can play Flight of the Bumblebees at full speed. This is not even half speed. This is very slow for Flight of the Bumblebees, but if we want, we can go maybe slower. And we can make the pressure plates can become kind of like a drum, or like a snare drum kind of thing. Very good. Oh, I'm loving it. Okay, and then we can, like I said, if we're going backwards, we can just walk on the stairs. If, like, for instance, if I've heard too many noises in my day and I want a little bit of peace and quiet, just walk on the stairs. But as we're walking this way, we can switch between piano and bass. Okay, I've tried note block stuff in the past, and usually I have a cool idea and it's a massive failure in the end. I think this was a cool idea with a pretty good execution. I think it's pretty funny. I have some other note block ideas, and we are going to try that out. I don't know exactly where, but I do have a board with a bunch of projects on it. Let's go look at it. I think we just checked off one of the things on the board. North and South entrance note block songs. Okay, that is the south entrance, I think. Let's see, the sun sets over there, which is west. So that's... No, okay, north entrance. That's the north entrance to the mountain. The south entrance is right here. I'm not sure if that's where the other note block thing. I would also like to do some more of those murals. Maybe have a mural of... Here's my idea. I just had while I was making that stuff. I want to make a mural of the lens and a mural of the arcology and have them be opposite each other somewhere. I don't know where that's going to happen, but I think that's a pretty cool idea. And it would need to be quite a bit bigger than those so we could have a bit more detail in the painting. But that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye-bye.